Hey guys, so I wanted to show you guys, it's been a while since I did a video, but like the sickness continues, I got myself a new build and I built it up and I've been riding it for a couple of weeks now and wanted to do a couple of comments slash a little bit of a review on some things here. So I got myself a GT Helion carbon full suspension frame. It's really interesting how the suspension works, and then I can give you guys some additional feedback. It's awesome ride. It's a great. They advertise it as a aggressive cross country mountain bike. It has 110 mil travel in the back. So it's I mean it's not it's not a enduro bike or anything like that. It's definitely a cross country bike. I must say that the 110 feels a little bit more than 110, but I mean we're splitting hairs here. It's a cross country bike for sure. Definitely worth looking into GT. Now this is the carbon model, and I only bought it because I got an amazing deal on the frame set, and I built it up from there. But the GT Helion aluminum has the same design, and there's some screaming deals online on the aluminum version, built up, ready to go, ready to ride bike. That's really, really nice. So I set up a 1x system. This is a 27.5 build. Now what I found really interesting is, if you guys can see this, and how much space there's between the back wheel and the frame. I tried, as soon as I bought the frame, just for fun's sake or whatnot, I actually tried a 29er wheel in there. And it fit really nice. Now if you ride in really muddy conditions where there is mud buildup, then maybe that's not a good idea. But I might actually... I'd have to get a fork that works better for it. But anyways, I might actually, for fun, try this as a 29er. Basically, fit in some 29er wheels. I would change the fork to a 29er fork to fit the wheel in. But I found it extremely interesting that it had room on there. Now, personally, I go back and forth between 27.5 and 29er. I enjoy riding 27.5 a little bit more than 29er. Anyways, it's a preference thing. I tend to be a little bit faster in my trails. I tend to be a little bit faster on a cross-country course on my 27.5. It's a little bit lighter, and it responds a little bit quicker to climbing and efforts and so on. So I built this bike up fairly light, as you guys can probably see. I do have some heavy pedals, but I rather have the consistency. 1x system. Doesn't matter which one you go, which crankset you go with. If it's a 1x, it's got a race face or whatever. Whoever makes the 1x front chainring is fine. It has a complete, apart from the crankset, it has a complete Shimano Xt group set. So the cassette is Xt, the rear derailleur is Xt, the brakes are Shimano Xts. I do like their performance, don't get me wrong. It's you can't say anything bad about it. I mean, it's not the lightest, but it's a good brakes. Pretty light seat post. It is aluminum, it's not carbon, and the really cheap seats that I get on eBay, they're less than $10, and it's what I like. It's my preference. On the cockpit, I went with a shorter stem. The good news with a shorter stem for a cross-country guy is it's lighter. So if you're a bit of a weight weenie, it's great. It's like 87 grams or something like that I got for that stem. I got carbon bars on there that I had. They were just sitting around. And as you can see, it's got the Shimano Xt group set. Fork-wise, I went with a DT Swiss fork. I only have 3-4 rides on that fork, so it's not really fair to give it a good review yet. Most forks, they have a break-in period, so they don't work great right away. Well, they don't work as intended right away. It works great, but I mean, as intended, it takes, I'm going to say 10 rides at least to really break it in completely. But so far, so great. DT Swiss forks are a little bit more of a European feel. So it's a little bit stiffer feel all throughout, really. You can play with air pressure with the Fox forks, with the RockShox forks, and with the DT Swiss forks, I can play with air pressure as well, and it'll be more plush. But I like a little bit more of a firm feel up front. I got I have custom built wheels, the hubs. I think I got them from eBay. They're pretty light from China or Taiwan or something like that. And I built them up on some no tubes Crest aluminum rims. They're light and they do the job. I'd like to try some carbon wheels soon for a mountain bike. So my next project will either be buying some or building it. I don't know. I'm not really sure yet. So the suspension is really interesting on here. I'm not going to spend a ton of time explaining how it works, but because you can go on any other YouTube, GT has released some YouTube videos where they kind of explain it's a little dirty from today's ride, the way they explain the suspension. But long story short, it's pretty efficient and it's very responsive. So my view as not what's on paper, but my feeling towards what it feels like when I go ride. You know, it's one of these suspensions where it seems super active, but when I'm pedaling, I almost have to look down to make sure it's not locked out or that it's actually working. So I guess it's the best of both worlds a little bit. When I'm climbing, I don't feel like it's bobbing. Then again, I do have a remote. It's not a lockout. It has a 3 position, so fully open. Sorry, camera. So it's fully open, and then it has trail mode or whatnot. It's in between, and then a climb mode. There we go. Climb mode, and then it releases. So most of the time I have it in the middle position, and then if it's a long climb, I'll push it down and get it on climb mode. That being said, the last couple of rides I've put it in the middle position and just rode, and you know, I don't know if I really felt much of a difference. It seemed really good, really efficient. If you're in the market for a frame or a bike, I would definitely look into GT, Helion, and the likes. They have another model, I can't remember the name of it right now, but they have one with more travel. So if you're more inclined to more travel, you can definitely do that. It's a really good design. I don't have any complaints whatsoever. It seems to be working really, really well. It's very solid, very snappy. Definitely wants to get up and go. Yeah, so check it out. If you're in the market for a new bike, don't shy away from GT Helions. This was released, I think, in it was released in 2015. So before 2015, I think GT had the iDrive, which was not a great success. And I think they worked a lot on this to make it really, really good. And the only reason it hasn't taken off more is I think they're still fighting off some of that stigma regarding the iDrive. And but they really seem to have done a great job on the suspension technology and how it works on this thing here. So it's pretty light, it's pretty efficient, it's fun going downhill. Hey, get a GT. Thanks for watching. If you guys want to know anything specific about the bike, post it in the comments and I'll respond to it. If you have any other bike related questions, I'm always happy to answer. And keep on riding, guys.